Good evening, good folks. This is your boy, your uncle, your cousin, your son, your daddy. You know, this is Bobby Hill, and welcome to another episode of The Big Damn. I hope everybody had a good day today. Hope everybody had a productive day. Hope, you got one day closer to your goal, whatever it is you have in life. I hope you are one step closer to it today. You know, just like to say, give a shout out to my lovely wife. Who's probably, I know she's listening now. She might be soon. My lovely wife, Sandra. She's the reason why I'm out here doing this. You know, she's the reason why I'm out here. Putting myself out here. Don't really know what the result going to be. We're just doing it. A leap of faith. Sometimes in life you got to have a leap of faith, and that's what this is. You know. Before going any further, I'd like to give a rest in peace, rest in paradise. I'm sorry, rest in paradise to my classmate, Belonda Moore. We called her Bird. You know, she was involved with the girls basketball team. It was very successful. She was part of it. She was I think she was like a trainer, statistician, something like that. She was involved with it. Very very nice lady. Always a good friend. She never had any problems. She's always a good person, man. Very, very, sweet lady. She, lost her life to cancer. Another, life cut off short by cancer. Cancer fucking sucks. Excuse my language, but it's the truth. Sucks. It'd be nice if we could, get closer to, getting some sort of cure for it. But as long as we got some idiot at the head of HHS like Robert F. Kennedy Jr., but we struggling right now. For real. Sorry, sweating a little bit. I know a couple of days ago I was telling you how the temperature dropped, but believe me, but Texas is starting being Texas now. It's going up a little bit, so it's a little hot. But it's okay. Plus, we went to the gym earlier. Got a little workout in. I'm trying to, stay, maintain. Maybe trying to gain a little bit. I'm trying to see, can I personally? I just want to see, can I get up? Can I bench 400 pounds? That's all. 50 years old, can I bench 400 pounds? I feel like if I can do that at 50 years old, 51, maybe 52, I feel like that'll be a good feat for me. So, trying to get my wind back up. I'm like started back running. Like I said, I just do short intervals. I do 2 minutes and walk a minute, and then do a minute and then walk a minute, and do a run for a minute, walk a minute. Try to mix it up a little bit instead of just running straight through. See how that works. It's feeling good right now. Got my wind going back up, so it's working. See how it goes. You know, Speaking of my wife, like that's very, good, pleasant surprise, and she actually surprised herself that one, like I said, I get a chance now that I'm not driving trucks anymore. That I'm able to have a home life, so and I'm able to watch a little bit of sports. Like I had got away from it for all these years because my wife, had things to do. I couldn't sit there and watch a game all the time. Well, I did. I could watch pieces of it if I wasn't tired, had to go to work or on the move or something like that. So it's good to sit down and you know we sit and watch another game last night. Watch Spurs. We bonding over the Spurs. That's the hometown team. This is my town now, so Spurs fan. But sit and watch the game. And, she's very she's interested. Like I said, she don't know a lot about basketball, but she's learning and she's knowledgeable. She knows good when she sees it, and she knows trash when she sees it. It was good last night. It was sad. It was everybody seen it. It was scary when Wemby lost his balance and fell and hit his head and his jaw on on the floor and was actually like knocked out for a little bit, for a few seconds, and had, going through the percussion, going through the concussion protocol, and hopefully, he passes it. He has to, I think the rule is you have to be out a minimum of 48 hours, and I think, the game, he'll be able to, I think if he passes the protocol, he should be good. So, but I just, I was talking to my neighbor who's a Spurs fan, actually, and he was talking about that, and I was like, it was talking about the play that happened that made him fall. Was he was getting guarded by Drew Holiday? Drew is a foot shorter than him. And Drew early in the game was trying to get up under him and like uproot him and stuff like that, trying to get him like that. And honestly, it was effective for a little bit. It was effective. He didn't get off like he did, the first game. He was doing a little bit, but he didn't come out like that on fire. So it was working a little bit, but then, he was, Wemby was, I guess he was getting his position there and leaned back, and I guess Drew Holiday moved and let him lose his balance and stuff like that, man. And I don't know. Something don't feel that feel like a punk move to me. That's just me though. If you're gonna guard him, man. Don't be trying to play no tricks, nothing like that. You the one that chose to guard somebody that's a foot taller than you. Don't sit there and play them little stupid games, man. And people are like it wasn't serious. That's serious, man. Think about it, because everybody, a normal person, your head is 6 feet off the ground. His head is 7.5 feet off the ground. Imagine how far, look how far that is coming down and hit the ground. So he hit it with a lot more force than it would have if it would have been one of us, because he's taller. So that's just science. So yeah, I hope you're all right, man. I thought he broke his jaw at first, but it looked like he. I hope he's able to play, because they need him. Because Lord have mercy, I hope they have to depend on De'Aaron Fox to win. Lord have mercy, son. He was terrible, man. I do not understand. I'm sorry, and what it is. Sorry, I might hear some dogs in the background. My neighbor got his dogs out here. I hear dogs out here. So I'm sorry about that if you hear them. But if what happened is, De'Aaron Fox, one of them players from one of them volume scorers on a bad team, and then he gets traded to a good team, and think that he had the same, you think he has the same results as he had with that sorry team. Now he's with a team with more structure and stuff, and he realized that he's not as important as he think he is. But he's still trying to, man. He had two misses. Had good clean shots and two misses at the end of the game. They could have made a difference, but want to be the clutch player. And I think that other in the last shot, I don't know. I think they should. I don't know. I mean, I guess feel like they could have got a better shot than that one from Devin Vessel. Devin Vessel. I mean, he did. I mean, don't get me wrong. He's a good player. He be out in the community though. He's, they like him out here. He was out in the community. He was at I think he was at this restaurant, Panda Express, a few days ago. So, out there with the community. So he does community outreach. But yeah, I feel like they could have got a better shot. Try to get it to Castle or something. No. Because the only thing getting De'Aaron Fox in, Lord, he wouldn't have made it. Jesus Christ, man. I think of De'Aaron Fox, I think of that lucky three he made against Carolina. And then Carolina came right back down, and Luke May hit the jumper. That's why I think of De'Aaron Fox. I mean, yeah, I guess he's all right. He all right. He's in the NBA, so don't get me wrong. I'm just, talking about him on the basis of other NBA players. As a regular basketball player, yeah, he can bowl his ass off. He can beat me and any other regular player out here. But as far as NBA wise, he thinks he's a bigger player than he actually is. He actually just a role player. And Lord, oh my God, we was talking about it all last night. Another thing I want to talk about, man. I know, group around people, man. They, it's good self-expression. Just trying to be like, it's good to be an outcast, look different, natural, whatever, stuff like that. But Jesus Christ, Scoot Henderson, man, God knows, man, you look like you woke up from a bender. You came straight to the game. Didn't wash your hair, didn't do nothing to it. Jesus Christ, man, like you came right off the damn boat, man. Oh my God, that was embarrassing. If you had just scored 2 points, it would have been okay, but you scored 31 points. And you so they had a camera on you all night, man, looking at that matted down wolf hair. Oh my God, that was terrible, man. I don't know, man. Maybe I just feel like, I don't know, man. It don't matter if you can have the natural look, but damn, at least have a tight edge up or something. Shit, man, look like I'm telling you, man, look like he just woke up from like a 2-day bender and just came straight to the game. He didn't do nothing to his hair, nothing. Look matted in the background. He was matted in the back like he was just laid down on the couch before he went into the game. Something. I'm just terrible. But he balled though. Don't get me wrong. He the reason why they won 31 points. He did. Oh my God. He averaged 14 points and he scored 31 that night. So that was his night. He took advantage of the 7-4 monster gone. So he did it. I mean, I gotta give him credit. You gotta take him as you get them. As the great Jim Valvano said back in the day, and then they made that 83 run with NC State, to the NCAA championship, surviving events. Make to the next game. It's all about that W. It don't matter how you get it, as long as you get that W. And this time won. So that's what it is. Hopefully Wemby be back. Wemby can not, go ahead and show them that who's the inferior team. But, you never know. Like I said, injuries. Injuries is always the wild card and stuff. So, we'll see. We'll see how this affect Wemby. Will it affect when he come back? Will he be as aggressive? Or will he be timid? You got to think about all that stuff. So we'll see. We will see. And I watched a little bit of Lakers and stuff last night, and give them props. LeBron and also LeBron's okay, but I think the guy that was the white guy. Yeah, yes, he was. Yes, he was doing his thing. Marcus Smart did. He's okay. I don't know his game. I don't understand his game, but somehow he seems they always end up having about 25, 26 points, and I don't remember how he got them. But my man, look it up. I forgot my man name. Let's see. One second. Luke Kennard. Yes, Luke Kennard. Oh, yes. He was stroking that three. He was the reason why. Yeah. And then, I don't know, man. Kevin Durant. All this talk about him being the greatest scorer of all time. Man, you shut that up right now. He's a great scorer. He's a gifted scorer. He's 6'11". He can shoot. He has a beautiful jumper, and he's a great scorer, but not the greatest. I mean, you had 20-something points at halftime, and you ain't scored nothing in the second half, about 3 points, man. Come on, man. I was expecting. I did fall asleep and got the game. When I opened up the score, I was hoping it was disappointing to see that Houston lost. But then another, disappointing, I see that he didn't do nothing. I was expecting to see him have like at least 35 to 45 points. Yeah. I went to bed, I think he had like 20-something points, and you come back here at 23. Like, damn, he ain't do nothing. Yeah, that was. I don't know, man. Kevin Durant. I mean, I always like being a Kevin Durant fan. I think he's a little sensitive, but I think he's a little sensitive sometimes. And I think he just like Scoot Henderson. He need to comb his goddamn hair. Just really he need to. I mean, I just don't like that look like that, man. I just don't, man. It look like you got fucking lice in your hair or something, man. Like there's a damn there's a fucking school of ants cut in your hair or something, man. Just full of Chris Tucker. But you comb your goddamn hair like a bunch of spiders in here having a meeting. That's what it looks like, man. Just saying. But for real. But yeah. But like I said, been some good games and stuff. I think the Knicks lost. To Atlanta. I think I didn't watch that game, but I seen the result. But I know they're going crazy in New York because they expect a title. Because they starving for something for so long, so they got any little piece of you know winning a success. They just ready for it. They ready think they're gonna go to the finals. I don't know. We'll see. The Hawks got something to say about it. You know. But I hope, like I said, hope y'all been having a good day today. Hope things ain't too bad. Regardless of the circumstance, we get living in this crazy daggone world, this damn country. You got a damn president who's losing his mind every day. I feel like his mind is going away like the damn like like the people did when the damn gauntlet was snapped in Avengers. I feel like it's happening to him, but it's going slowly. I feel like his brain is going slowly away, like dust. I mean, that man's an idiot, man. I mean, you start a fight. I try to say war and fight at the same time. You start a war, and now you're trying to back your way out of it to save face, and they saying no. They got time. And, this they are willing to, sacrifice and do all this. Trump is the one that's trying to save face. He had the lowest approval rating. He's not. He just, some of his supporters. I think I heard like, who was that? Tucker Carlson. Has disbanded, has jumped ship and asked for an apology because he misleaded the public about Trump. No, he misleaded the Fox viewers. He didn't mislead me. He didn't mislead people that had common sense. We knew who it was. You know, other people trying to jump ship. Then you got everybody, it's Trump, especially he does the same playbook. Every time he loses is red. And every time he wins, it's the greatest ever. And that's Trump. He got mad because in Virginia the voters voted to redistrict and favor the Democrats. A thing that was started here in Texas, and they thought they was gonna get away with it, and everybody wasn't gonna do nothing. But the Democrats stood up and like, look, if y'all gonna do it, we'll up you one. We'll do you one better. And now the Republicans don't know what to do. They're gonna try to take it to court, but how you can take it to court for something that y'all started? They started this gerrymandering. They started this when Barack Obama was in office, and they wanted to, you know, try to handcuff him by, taking away House seats. Redrawing districts to favor Republicans. They've been doing that. They did that for a whole decade. They did in North Carolina. I'm pretty sure they did it. Did in other places. All these Republican legislators, state and local legislators. That's why it's important when you vote in these local elections, man, because these are the people who affect your everyday life. These local people. President don't affect your everyday life, man. But your school board member do, your fire chief, your damn police chief, your mayor, your city councilman, your damn county commissioners, and all them. They affect you more than a House of Representative from the state or from the U.S. House of Representative or a U.S. Senator or the president. So think about that. Think about that. Think about these people that's, it's every day. People that go downtown and make decisions. Those are the ones you need to be worried about. Those are the ones you need to pay attention to. Just as important as you pay for just as much as you pay attention to these national elections, you need to pay attention to that because that's that can affect you even more so. especially with like the school board and all that, the city council, especially how they trying to, get rid of, trying to rewrite history and omit stuff and trying to do. You got to, these people from the board of education, they're approving this stuff. They're approving these books getting taken out and stuff like that, man. So, who y'all put up here is important. So pay attention to it. You know what I'm saying? If you don't, I mean, so when you kid, in school and stuff, and they find out you don't like what they're teaching, ain't nothing you can do about it because you had the opportunity, but you chose to do nothing. So, do something. Make your voice heard. There's power in numbers. There's power in numbers. In this country, there's power in numbers. So, like I said, man, just, maybe it's a thing. Maybe, so I'm going back. I'm going back and forth and stuff, man. It just hit me up again, man, about this cat's hair last night, man. Oh my god, man, I just hated Scoot Henderson, man. Just I ain't saying you got to be all, you don't got to have everything crispy, like you don't have to have the waves and everything. You can keep it nappy like that, but damn it, edge it up, some keep it edged up, do something. Edge it. I can't do this because I don't got this. I can just do this, edge that thing up or something. Jesus Christ, man. Oh my God, man. If I was in any kind of thing where I was on television and I went there looking like that, man, that's where I'd be getting a phone call for some people like, man, what in the hell wrong with you, man? Why you embarrass me like that? Don't embarrass my name like that. No. No. But I'm looking forward to this. I think like, whenever I know they're doing basketball now. I'll be talking about that from time to time. Like I said, with the Spurs, now my wife like the Spurs. I watch a whole game, man. I can, talk to you about a little bit, but summertime, yeah, and then it was baseball a little bit. I don't watch baseball like that. I try to watch it a little bit. I try to watch the Dodgers and I think it was, the Arizona. I think was it the Dodgers and the Diamondbacks or somebody. I watched like a third of an inning. It was just now. I don't even know the names no more. The pitcher was from the pitcher was Arizona, I think, and the batter's from the Dodgers, I think, and he worked that pitcher all the way to a full. Pitcher was up. The pitcher was up 0-2, 0 balls and 2 strikes, and that batter worked him all the way up to a full count, and then got a hit off of him. He worked the hell out of that pitcher. That was very impressive. But that's the reason I can't watch football and baseball. That was one at bat. It took that long. So if you ain't playing it, it's hard to watch it on television now. As I'm older, and when younger, I could watch it, but I can't watch it now. No, I need something with some pace on it. That's mess around, put me to sleep, man. Shit. All right, sometimes some of the NBA games put me to sleep. I like it, but like I said, people, I hear people they were talking about, of course, LeBron, he had like he had 26 points and stuff. I think 26 or whatever. He had his numbers. People all into it. Oh my God, look what he done at this age and all this. It's always gonna be every time you do something. Oh my God, look what he did at this age and that age and all this. And I ain't gonna hate, man. It's impressive that he's able to be here this long and stuff. All the players, a lot of players been there for like over 15 years. Think about all the players who've been in the league over 15 years just playing at a decent level. A lot of them, and I think I said people think it's medicine, and a little bit it's medicine, training, and all that, but it's also the rule change how they've took the physicality out of the game, and that physicality and that wear and tear has allowed these players to be able to heal faster during the off season because they don't have to go through that way. They don't hit the ground or hit them hard fouls like they used to. They don't have to do that. They don't have to ice themselves like that because they're not taking them poundings. They're not taking them poundings night by night. They're not facing some big power forward every night. That's or some goon out there on every team every night trying to just foul them and stuff. They're not facing that no more. So that's allowed them to be able to last longer. You know. They getting these players. These players are getting injured. Because of the pace of the game is sped up. Because they don't have. They're like I said. They showed LeBron when he went through the middle, and man, that's a good dunk. I mean, he's 6'8". I mean, this come from a guy who's 6 feet, 6'1". Duncan knows 5'10", 5'11". So that being able to do that at 6'8" is not. I'm not. Oh my God, he can do that. I mean, he kept himself in good shape. I mean, he's 6'8", and there's no rim protector there. You don't have to deal with rim protectors no more. So that allowed the lane to be open because when he did that, everybody backed up. It looked like a damn layup line. It looked like one of them All-Star games where everybody just backed up and just let them go through. Ain't nobody try to contest or nothing. So it's all right. I mean, it's good for television, but just keeping it in perspective with me. Because it's doing my basketball the way I see it, and the way I feel, the way it should be played, and the way I've watched it play. That's it's okay. I mean, oh my God, all this. So you know, I don't care. People call me, I don't care. LeBron hater, or whatever. I'm a realist. I just don't fall for the. To me, it ain't all about in the and the thing that is here's the thing with me as far as that whole debate about the problem I have with like some LeBron people is they pick and choose when to use per game stats and career stats. They pick and choose when to use it. They use it only to benefit themselves. For instance, here's the one thing with Michael Jordan. Okay, like I said, when Michael Jordan lost to he scored 63 points. He lost to the Celtics. He lost to 4 Hall of Famers and stuff. They don't care about that. People talking LeBron people don't care the fact that he lost to a team with 4 Hall of Famers, but they just care that he lost. You know, they just care that he lost. They don't care with his stats or whatever. But then when they talk about LeBron when he lost, they say when he lost to Golden State or when he lost to whatever. Oh my God, he led the team in points, rebounds, and assists, and he scored average this and average that. That's to make when he lose. So when Jordan loses, he's just a loser, no matter what his stats were. Look at when he was, when he was coming up short them years in the playoffs. Look at his stats. They don't never talk about that. They just say he was a loser. But when LeBron loses, they always bring up the stats. Oh, he lost, but he did everything. Like Jordan just sat back there and did nothing. That's the thing. So yeah. Yep. Yep. Like I said, it's just I don't want I don't feel like getting all that because like I said, I feel the way I feel, about that. Like I said, and LeBron's a great player. He's definitely my top 5. But that's what it is. He really, to me, I feel like he played bully ball. He's like I said, he's gifted athlete. He's a gifted athlete, 6'8", like 260. He's gifted, can, play inside, outside, can, play all the positions and all that. I already know all the rhetoric and everything when it comes to LeBron. Yes, 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 yes. You know, my thing, I'm telling you, my knock on LeBron is the fact that he quit. That was my knock. He quit. He quit. I watched him quit on live television. His first time in Cleveland when they lost. When they lost in the playoffs, LeBron quit. They were down by 10 points with a minute left. How many great players would quit? Would Kobe quit? Would Jordan quit being down by 10 points with a minute left? Hell no. They would have gave it all. LeBron sat down and just dribbled the ball out and pulled and threw his shirt off and just quit. And that put a stain on him for me the rest of it. And then I was, fact him, against the Dallas Mavericks, where he collapsed in the fourth quarter and stuff. Don't forget that in the big time, the big moments. I don't care stats, those stats out the window. What you gonna do when the lights are the brightest? That's what separate them. You know, he did have a big, when he came back against Golden State. And I feel like dumbass damn Draymond Green gave him that. Yes, they had to win the final game. Yes, they had to win the 3 games. But the fact that stupid Draymond Green, whatever. I think he did on purpose. Whatever. Trying to tell me you that absent-minded that you would kick, LeBron James, you gonna get away. They gonna get away with kicking him in the nuts and not gonna happen. You stupid, man. That was stupid, and that caused them to get momentum, a little bit of momentum, and it just and it snowballed. That's what happened. LeBron made a great defensive play, and Kyrie hit a big 3-pointer, and that's what got it for him. I give him his props. And that bubble ring was some BS. I don't care anybody say. People talking about, I ain't say it was BS, but when people was talking about it was harder than a regular championship, man, you better get the hell up out of here. Go somewhere, man. You don't have to worry about no damn crowds. You don't have to worry about nobody talking junk to you. You don't have to worry about, people being loud during free throws and all this stuff. You don't have to worry about being jet lagged. You don't have to worry about going from hotel to hotel. You was right there, basically a pickup game. Yeah, it was a title, but it wasn't no, because you didn't face the rigors of a true NBA game, a true NBA series. Everything was played right there. It's like playing pickup ball. You didn't have to, you got, when you playing the basketball, you playing with looking at backboard, there's a reflex to that backboard. There's people there. There's people behind there, man. People out there doing distracting stuff, and they didn't have to deal with none of that. It took away an element from the game that that affects the game. So that's why people don't give that stuff that much credit. I don't either. So whatever. I ain't meant to get into other sports. Well, whatever. Y'all said wherever. I just get in the water and wherever the current carries me. I guess it carried me to the sporting arena tonight. Took a detour to the White House for a second, then just went like, get the hell up out of here. We don't need to be over here. And went straight back to the sporting arena. Yeah. Excuse me. But I'm glad. But I'm just glad to see people. When Trump got elected the second time, everybody thought it was gloom and doom that everything was going to fall off. But I'm glad to see that. We can't allow like one person, to destroy this country. We still, we're still here. We'll still be here after Trump is gone. And all these people who sit up here and kiss his butt, they're gonna answer for it. All these people who did illegal stuff and thought Trump was going to save them and give them a pardon or whatever happened, listen, it's going to be it's going to be tough for some of these people. That's why I have a problem. That's one thing I have with Stephen A. Smith silly behind getting mad because of the senators getting on a video telling the people telling the soldiers not to follow an illegal order by the president. He getting mad. That was the right thing to tell them. That's true. That's the law. Don't do that. Don't follow an illegal order. And basically, Stephen A. was telling them, okay, you follow the order and let somebody else deal with it. That ain't worth a damn. When that president is out of office and you have to face, you have to go to court for doing that illegal order, saying that you were just following orders is not a defense. That's like saying, I didn't know that was a crime. Ignorance of the crime is not a defense. That's what they teach you in class. Ignorance of the crime is not a defense. And because you don't know it was a crime, don't mean that it is not a crime. That don't work. That's the case. Everybody can play dumb. Oh, I didn't know it was a crime. I didn't know robbing a bank was a crime. Shit. Let me go ahead and go somewhere. You know, let me have this money. I ain't know that was a crime. Get the fuck out. But, I'm glad that, like I said, I'm glad that, I was blessed to be here another day so I can sit up here and talk to y'all and sit up here and be here for y'all. Like I said, I'm trying to, like I said, just going, it's like giving a testimony almost. Just talking about what's on my mind for the day. That's all. Ain't nothing, nothing special. Whatever's on my mind, how I feel like, what I feel like talking about. Just sometimes, like I said, in multi-fads, I can talk about a lot of stuff because I feel like I have a knowledge in a lot of stuff. So, wherever we go, that's where we're gonna go. You know, and if you want to flow with me, we can flow. If you don't want to flow that day, that's good. That's okay. That's fine. But just come back because I like when you're here. So yeah, please come back. Y'all get a chance, you hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. It's good to have subscribers. I just need, you y'all to help me. I'll get better. The more support I get, the better I get at it. I'm saying I'm working on my craft, working on it. I feel like I'm getting better every time. I'm trying to get, trying to be, get better at this every single time. And that's why I'm working at it. You know, I take notes, and I just take little things that come in my mind. I write down, take notes, and just reminders and stuff, things that be on my mind. Just something to talk about. I'm talking to my wife sometimes. I'll be like, yeah, I might talk about that on the podcast. Talking to my man and stuff. He always give me ideas to talk about. So yeah. And I ask for advice. Ask for advice sometimes on, Facebook. That's when I'm start. I'm gonna start like giving surveys and stuff and asking questions and be like ask topics they want me to talk about, and I'm gonna talk about them. You know, if I can't talk about it, with knowledge and talk about it with responsibility, then I'm not going to touch it. I ain't going to be able to trying to talk about everything. If I don't know nothing about it, I can't discuss it. I'm not going to pretend like I do. I'm not going to sit up there and tell no lie. I know stuff like that. No, I'm get down like that. So like I said, we keep it real up here. We just keep it real, keep it honest. You know, just just authentic. Well, I'm trying to point. I'm trying to point the right one. There we go. I don't know if I will be at the movie a weekend. But boy, I'm telling you, I seen the previews and it looks like it's gonna be a good movie. I hope it is. I hope it is. Michael Jackson was a very influential man in this world. Not just me. I'm not gonna be selfish say that's me because I love Michael Jackson. But he was an influential man across all spectrums. So it's good. And that's one thing in my life I was, very glad and fortunate to see. I didn't get to see Muhammad Ali. I didn't get to see him and stuff like that. But I'm glad got to see two men, you know, of two black men to get to a level where they transcended, everything, race and everything. That was Michael Jackson and Michael Jordan. you know, and I was glad, I'm very glad I was able to live through that and see that and experience that. And I'm just very grateful in my life, like I said, and it's just, good to see, especially with Michael Jordan, you see somebody up there, people idolizing him and he looked like me. So, that's, it's a very powerful message, so, and like I said, I fell short, I fell short throughout my life, but, always trying hard, you always try hard. Just because you fail, you don't quit. You keep on going in your life. As long as you're alive, you got a chance. So you always keep trying. So as long as you're alive, you got a chance. You know. And with that being said, I'd like to thank y'all for being here. Like I said, we try to do this on Monday through Friday whenever I can. I can't always promise it, but I'm trying to, with like I said, give you my best. Like I said, try to be here Monday through Friday. About between about 45 minutes. And I did start off for an hour, but like I said, I get advice, and somebody told me to shorten it up a little bit. So one of my mans told me to shorten it up a little bit. So I, took his advice, cut it down a little bit, give it, short but sweet. Like I said, that makes sense because, growing up, not every double album was a good album. Some of them could have been cut down to one album, cut some of them songs off. So yeah, I understand. Yes. That being said, I'd like to thank y'all for being here. Like I said, can't catch me live. You got my page, The Big Dams on YouTube. Said I'm gonna be advertising on TikTok a little bit, and I'm gonna be putting it on like I said, I let you know on Facebook when it comes, So I'm yeah, so when I get things, when I get my footing, keep on going, I'll be doing more things. So, like I said, this is grassroots starting out. Like I said, we seeing where we're going, right now. Things going good. I feel getting more and more comfortable every day. So yes, and that's all to y'all. And I love the support, those who support me. And those who don't support me, I hope I can get your attention, and I hope I can get it out there and let people see it. I'm just like them. And I hope y'all have a good evening. Hope, tell your loved ones, kiss your loved ones, kiss your kids. Because you never know when it might be the last. All right. Thank y'all for being here with me. Y'all have a good evening.